Okay, good morning. In the last class, we have seen various kinds of maintenance procedures and the types of maintenance. Now we will see replacement. So we'll see what is a replacement. Okay. JP-യിലേക്ക് പോയാൽ So we know the performance or efficiency of any machine while it is working for a long time. It can be seen that the performance or the efficiency of these machines will be deteriorating. Okay, that will be deteriorating. So what we do is, one of the remedy is we can replace it by new machines, or sometimes new technology comes into picture, so the old one becomes obsolescence or obsolete. So in that case also we need to replace. So proper replacement should be done. So there will be some policy. There should be some standard procedures of how we can replace or when to replace an existing machinery or a procedure by a new one. So that is the replacement. So in order to improve the performance or efficiency of any machine or procedure, we do one of the remedy is replacement. So we will see in detail what is a replacement or the factors. First of all, the factors which constitute to replacement. So as a definition, we can say it is the analysis which is concerned with the question where it is the time to replace or an existing piece of equipment with a new one. So how or when it should be replaced. Now we'll see, basically there are two factors which constitute the replacement. First one is the technical factors. Technical factors. So the factors which leads to replacement. What are the technical factors related to technical? That is, first one, a new machine which is available in the market, it is having the possibility to perform additional operations. So additional operations by new machine. That means if there are similar products, say for example car, in the case of a car, the pre-existing car, you have having a car right now, but if a new model arrives where there are some additional features, with considerable amount of money. So as there is an additional operations or additional okay, operations, then we may choose the new machine. So the old one should be replaced. That is the first factor. That is a technical factor. That is a possibility of performing additional operation by the new machine. The new machine is having a possibility of performing additional operations. So the customers may choose that product. So this has to be replaced. Second, more reliable machine developed. Suppose a new machine which is more reliable. It is if it comes to picture, then usually we will choose that, and we should replace this with the old. Sorry, this should be the old model should be replaced with the new one, which is more reliable. So we will give more preference to the machines which are reliable, more reliable. Third one, unavailability of the spare parts. Of spare parts. Suppose if we are using a car, say for example Chevrolet and all. Now we will see people are not using the Chevrolet cars because there is no service for that, or the service is only a limited amount. Now the spare parts is not available. So like that, if the spare parts are not available, then we should replace the product. Replace the product with the product which is having the availability of spare parts. So these are the other case. Next, obsolescence. Obsolescence. That means a product now becomes obsolete because a new product which having a new technologies came, so the old one becomes obsolete. So in that case, we will replace the old one, old model or old version of the machine or any product with the new one, because the old one is already becomes obsolete. And one more, deterioration. Deterioration. That means if any equipment is deteriorated, or if the equipment or if its performance decreases as the time passes, then we can say it's time to replace the equipment. So these are the technical factors. First one, if the additional operations by a new machine is there, then there is a possibility to replace, or we can replace the product. Then second one, more reliable machines developed. If the more reliable machine is developed, means we will choose that. Then next is the unavailability of spare parts. In that case, also replacement should be done. Then obsolescence. If the existing method or existing product is obsolete due to the technical advancement in the same field, a new product is developed, then the old one will be replaced by the new one. And finally, due to deterioration or in the decline of the performance of the equipment, we may choose a new product or we will replace it. These are the technical factors, and next is the cost factors. Cost factors. Cost factors. First one, the high maintenance and repairing cost. And repairing cost. Suppose if the product is having high maintenance cost, in order to maintain the product, we have to spend some money, and for repairing also we have to find some money. If this total cost is going beyond a value, and if there is a new product available in the market where the maintenance cost and repairing cost is comparatively low, then we have to replace this by the old one by the new product which is having low maintenance cost, comparatively lower maintenance and repairing cost. Next one, reduction in scrap or spoiled work by the new machine. Scrap rate, reduced scrap rate for the reduced scrap rate by new machine. If the new machine, if any new machine is available or any new product is available in the market where the scrap rate is reduced. Scrap rate means number of failed components or the failed products developed by the machine. If it is lower, then we will choose to that, so that as the scrap rate decreases, the cost associated with the loss also decreases. So that is the second factor. Then lesser space required for new machine. New machine. Suppose if the new machine, it occupies only a small space, then we need only a small space to accommodate the machine, or we can accommodate more than one machine in the same area, so that the cost associated with the layout or the space, floor space, can be reduced by implementing the new machine. So in that case also we can replace it. And finally, reduced labor cost for new machine. Reduced labor cost. Suppose the new machine is having only less labor requirement, or less labor skill is required, so that we can minimize the amount of labor and the cost associated with the labors or the wages given to the labor can be reduced. Not wages, but the amount of labor can be reduced. Thereby we can reduce the cost. Anyway, the cost, overall cost concerned with the labor or the labor cost can be reduced. If there is a possibility to reduce the cost, if we implement a new machine, then we will choose that machine and replace the old machine or the previously existing machine. So these are the cost factors. So first one is high maintenance and repairing cost. In that case, we will choose the new product which is having the comparatively lower maintenance and repairing cost. Then reduced scrap rate for the new machine. If the new machine is having only a few scrap or failures, then we will choose, or we will replace the old one by the new machine. Then regarding the space requirement, if less space required for the new machine, then the new machine will be chosen, or the old one will be replaced by the new machine. And finally, regarding the labor cost, you will choose the machine such that if the new machine or any other machine available for reduced labor cost, then we will replace the old one with this old with new machine which is having reduced labor cost. So these are the factors, technical factors and cost factors for replacement. Okay. Now we will see some replacement policies, or how the or the methods of replacement studies, how the replacement studies are done. Various methods where how we can choose when to replace replace an equipment, or sometimes given two machines, machine A and B, and it is given the lifetime of the machine A and machine B and how it is working. And based on the study, certain kind of study, we will arrive in a summary like which machine is to be chosen for replacement. So we will see the methods for replacement. Methods for replacement study. There are many methods, but the common methods are: first one, payback method. Payback method. Then present worth method. Present worth method. And finally, MAPI method. MAPI, MAPI method. Okay. So we will see one by one. First one, payback method. Payback method. Payback method. Okay. So what is a payback method or payback? What is the term payback? Payback എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? പെട്ടെന്ന് മനസ്സിൽ വരുന്നത് നമുക്ക് തിരിച്ചു കിട്ടുന്ന റിട്ടേൺ അല്ലേ? So the basically it determines the period of time which is required to return on an investment or repay എന്നൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പറയില്ലേ, അതായത് ഒരു ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ്, വി ആർ ഗിവിങ് ആൻ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ് ഫോർ സം പ്രോഡക്റ്റ്, say 2 lakh. If you invest 2 lakh for a product and you will get a particular value, particular amount each year, suppose you will get 40,000. Then for the first year you will get 40,000. After second year, the cumulative value will be 80,000, right? And it goes on. And after 5 years, you will get the value 2 lakh. So initially you invested 2 lakh, and after 5 years, you get the full amount back. So this is the payback or repay. So the payback is done after 5 years. This is one type of study. There are many other factors. The value of the money will be changing. Anyway, those things are not taken into concern now. We are only considering the whether the full amount is received or received in which time. So in this case, that is in the present example, what we discussed is first of all, we are giving an initial investment as 2 lakh. 2 lakh. And after each year, annually, you will get a return. Get a return as 40,000. So you will the payback period. That is, you will get a relation like P equal to C by R, where P is the payback period. Payback period in mainly in years, and C is the original investment, capital investment, original capital investment, and R is the return, net return per year, annual return. So in this case, this is the C, original capital investment. This is the return. So the value P, or the payback period, in after which year you will be getting the full amount, that is a payback period, will be equal to this 2 lakh divided by 40,000, and you will get the value as 5. Okay. This is one of the method where you will find when to replace the equipment by comparing. You can compare a machine with another machine. You can compare two models by using this method, and you will choose the product which is having lower value of payback period. That is, for example, if one product, in this case, the payback is 5. That means you will getting the return after 5 years. So it takes 5 years to repay the amount. Suppose any other product is available having the payback period of 4 years. That means within 4 years itself you are getting the amount back. So we will choose the second case where the payback period is lesser. So in this method we will find the payback period of different machineries in the case of replacement, and how we have to replace by another product, and we are having many options, and among that options you can choose the better one by using this method, where the payback value is lesser, comparatively lesser, that will be chosen. So there are some problems in this, but that will not be asked for the exam. So anyway, we will move to next type. Before that, we'll discuss the advantages, main advantages and disadvantages of this payback period method. What are the advantages? Advantages and disadvantages. First case is, this is a simple method. Simple method. There is no complexities involved, just a simple method. Second, does not involve any complicated or tedious computations. Just a simple relation is used, P equal to C by R. And no, there is no complicated relations. So, does not involve any complicated or tedious computations. Okay. Now it has also some disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages? Disadvantages. The main thing is, this ignores the cash flows beyond the payback period. So after the payback period, whatever things happens, that is not taken into concern. Okay, so it ignores the cash beyond the payback period. And also the time value of money. So the value of money, that is 2 lakh rupees. It has got a value in the present. But after 1 year, the value of the money may change. Definitely it will change. ഇന്നുള്ള വിലയല്ല നാളെ, അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ ഇന്നുള്ള 2 ലക്ഷത്തിൻ്റെ വാല്യൂ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ വാല്യൂ, ഇന്നിപ്പം 2 ലക്ഷം കൊടുത്താൽ നമുക്ക് പല കാര്യങ്ങളും കിട്ടും. പക്ഷെ ഒരു 2 കൊല്ലം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഈ 2 ലക്ഷം കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു കുന്തവും കിട്ടത്തില്ല. ചിലപ്പോൾ ഒന്നും കിട്ടില്ല എന്നല്ല, പക്ഷെ നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ കിട്ടുന്ന പോലെ ആയിരിക്കില്ല കിട്ടുക. ചിലപ്പോൾ കൂടുതൽ കിട്ടിയേക്കാം, ചിലപ്പോൾ കുറവായിരിക്കാം. പ്രസൻറ്റ് വെർത്ത് എന്ന് പറയും, അന്നുള്ളതിൻ്റെ ഇന്നുള്ള വാല്യൂ എന്നൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പറയാറുണ്ട്, അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള എമൗണ്ടിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുന്നില്ല. ഈ 2 ലക്ഷമാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ചിലവാക്കണമെങ്കിൽ ഈ 2 ലക്ഷം എത്ര കാലം കഴിയുമ്പോഴാണ് കിട്ടുന്നത്, അതാണ് ഈ പറഞ്ഞ മെത്തേഡ്, പേ ബാക്ക് മെത്തേഡ്. So that is the main disadvantage, because it does not consider the time value of money. Does not consider the time value of money. Time value of money. Now, next is regarding the profit. This only projects the capital recovery. That means when the amount or the initial investment is paid back or it is returned, that only will be dealt, and on not on the profit, how we can make a profit or how profitably a product is working or maintaining. So regarding the profitability, it is not mentioning. So that is the other disadvantage. That means this measures only the capital recovery. Capital recovery. That means when or after how much years the initial investment is returned. It measures only the capital recovery and not on the profitability. Profitability of the firm. And regarding the next one, there are certain amount of money which will be spent for insurance, interest, maintenance, etc., etc. There will be there. So after the time passes, these amounts will be also there associated with that. So in order to maintain the product, there will be some certain maintenance cost, and also we are applying for the insurance. So insurance amount will be there, interest will be there. So these all things should be taken into concern, but it is not mentioned in this method. So regarding the account depreciation, taken the depreciation and money which is spent on insurance interest and maintenance. Okay, so these are the key disadvantages. So this was the first method. Next is the present worth method that we will discuss in the next class.